Hi, this is Keith Swenson again, and this video is about how to use the advanced features for setting up a meeting. Now, hopefully you've already seen the video on how to set up a workspace and how to create a meet the basic way. So you've already done that, but I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced features for cloning a meeting. I'll show you how you can poll the participants for time, rearrange the agenda, push things onto and off of the backlog agenda, set up break times, take a look at the agenda and the minutes layouts, and also notice the links to the previous minutes. So let's go on to that. So this is the list of meetings in a workspace that you already have set up. Now, last time we created a brand new meeting, but now let me show you how to clone the meeting. And to do that, you choose the meeting that you want to clone here. You hit the clone button. You then may want to change the title a little bit. You may want to add some more into the description here. And for the time, I'm going to show you how you can pull the users themselves and figure out what the best time is. I will clear this, so it will be to be determined. Now, the important thing about cloning is that you have the agenda items from the previous meeting, and all you need to do is select those to include them in the new meeting, and you can also tweak the time if that's important for you. Then you clone the meeting. So now you've got a meeting, this Town Hall 4, which is at a to be determined time. The start time is here and it says to be determined, but what I draw your attention to is this set of columns down here. Now let me set up some proposed time. So you just add a proposed time, aim for May 10th here, and then add that to the row. I'll add a few more. So I've just gone through and added 5 different possible proposed times. And what you might do is then go and indicate whether you're available on these times. Now, the double green is that's a good time. Other people may enter okay time. So this is all right. I can go then, but I'd prefer to go at this other time. You'll see people do that. I can make this work. Or maybe you have someone that's an okay time, but this is definitely a conflict. I cannot attend either of those times, so forget that. This meeting planner has a very nice feature which I'd like to show you, and you'll see it when you send an email. So again, I'm going to send an email like before. Let me know what time is good. Go ahead. It looks pretty good right now. Let me go ahead and send it. Now, most of what I've shown you has been the UI when you're logged in, but there's additional support for non-logged in users. So here I am in the email inbox, and I'm going to choose this user here. This is what the email message looks like, and you've got the agenda down here. But since the time is to be determined, you can have people click on the start time button here. And when it comes up, it will look like this. Now notice this user is not logged in. It's because the URL has a special code in it that gives them access. But this is actually really powerful because now, even without anybody having to log in, they can easily go here and indicate which times are good for them and which times are not, without having to log in. Now you'd send that email out some number of days before the meeting. Wait for the responses to come back in. So you can go look at this at any point in time. You can add new proposed times. If none of the ones there look good, you can add them. However, it looks like this slot here will be the best. One person here doesn't quite know, but everybody else looks good for that. So you can set the meeting to that by simply choosing set meeting time here, and that will highlight this. Also, it's worth, when you look at the participants list in this row, you get to see their responses here as well, along with an additional indicator of whether you know what they've said about whether they're coming or whether their likelihood to come, so that this is all sort of allowing you to arrange people to attend the meetings. Now, we set up the agenda exactly like the previous meeting, but you may not want to do it in this order here. For example, this new initiative, maybe you want to deal with the fence and the cell phone before that. You can use these up and down arrows here to push them around. So now we've pushed that down, reorganized it. You can also take an initiative or a task and push it into the backlog. So if this is not going to be run this time, send to backlog. We'll put it in a special holding place, and you can see it down here in this proposed list. And so it will be kept. You can clone it. You can keep cloning it to the next meeting, so you've got it there. And then when you have a meeting and you want to include it in the meeting, you can use this accept proposed item, and that puts it back into the meeting. And maybe you want to move it up to move it in front of the closing there, so you can manage your action items, your agenda items that way. The attached documents, they came with the clone here, and of course you go into here and you can change what's attached and what's not attached. Also the action items here, double click here and I can say this is progressing well, and I can make a little check item, which is go downtown, wash the car, and clean the windows. And so that becomes, you've got the status here on top, and then there's a little bunch of check items here that are very easy to sort of set up and track. This is all about communicating the status of this, and it appears right here in with the meeting. You can also attach topics. There's a set of topics in the workspace, and if those topics are relevant, you can then go ahead and attach that as an item there. You can also, if you are part of the meeting but you're not able to attend, you can also create comments on these items here and post them in there, or put them in there, and that becomes sort of part of the meeting as well. In fact, these can be part of the minutes. If this little thing is clicked here, then that'll actually become part of the minutes. So we've rearranged agenda items, but you can also have another kind of agenda item, which is a break time. Let's say in the middle of this you want to have a coffee break. So you create new and you call it coffee break, and you say how long you want for the coffee break, maybe 20 minutes for coffee break, but you click this is break time on this and move it up into the middle of the meeting. Now this is now going to appear differently than the other items. Notice the numbering goes around it. 1, 2, and then 3 is after that. In fact, if you look at the agenda, you'll see the same thing. You'll see 1, 2, and then you'll have coffee break in there. It's calculating the times for you, so you're able to create a meeting that has breaks in it if that's what you'd like to do. In the settings, we have these layouts, and the layouts, you have a couple of choices. The choices are the same actually for both the layouts, but one is used for the agenda and one is used for the minutes. So you can choose the agenda detail or the agenda only. That's a little bit more compact here, as you can see. And you have the same choice on the minutes here to choose which minutes layout that you want. But notice down here, previous meeting. This is because we cloned from the previous meeting. It remembers that and it keeps a link, so I can click on this link, I can go back to that previous meeting. And also in the agenda, it appears here as an item here saying, okay, well, Town Hall 4 is at this time, but the previous meeting was at this time here, and you get links to the agenda and the minutes directly there. Another interesting item about these minutes, if you choose this link here, this is a full screen version of the agenda in this case. This link will work for anyone. It has a special token in the URL, and so if you give this URL to somebody, if you post it on say a company-wide bulletin board, you will then automatically allow anybody that has that link to access this. So it's just sort of a way of publishing the minutes to the organization if you need to do that. So that's your overview of the more advanced features for setting up a meeting. I showed how you can clone a meeting, you can poll the participants for time, find out what the best time would be, showed how to rearrange agenda, to put things into the backlog and take them out of the backlog, to set up break times in the agenda, and to see how the agenda, minutes, and layout work, as well as links to the previous meeting so that you can see the agenda and the minutes for the previous meeting. Those are some of the advanced features for setting up a meeting.